Welcome to a few of you that are on the live stream. Today we're going to do week 2 of smartphone tips and tricks for the series. Week 1, I take the entire live stream and I just edit and cut things out. Like a 90-minute session is down to like 38 minutes or something like that. So this week we are going to go through the how to manage doing the health app. We didn't get to that last week, but I think that's important enough where I really want to cover that first. And then talk about practical, creative ways to use Siri. So we're gonna try to do that without setting everybody's phone off. So I'm gonna show you a trick for that. Yeah, so we're not gonna do that. It's gonna have 10 phones saying what do you want, and how to use the control center and talk about what that is. And this one here I felt was important based on some feedback I received is managing text messages. And we're off to the races. All right, well, good evening. Welcome back for week 2. So let's talk about the health app. With the health app, and I got it on your screen here, and I was able to find the documentation on this that talks about the privacy and security of the health information. With being, having this kind of information being stored, all healthcare institutions, app developers fall under the same HIPAA guidelines and regulations as hospitals, pharmacies, and other healthcare providers. So they have to be very careful on how they store data or how they release it and what they disclose to the patients and the users that are using this. I'm going to start in the settings just because there's some things you want to look at that either turn on or turn off different features. So if we scroll down, come on down here to the settings for health are going to be right there. Health details is a button right there. All right, and none of this is set. I intentionally left this unset so that I can go through this with you and kind of put some details together here. Now, this is specific to you. You can't put your spouse or other siblings or people. This is specific to you as the holder or owner of the phone. So what is very cool about this feature is that when you set all this up, you have the ability or the opportunity to allow this information to be available to first responders who are now trained to look for this information if they have to respond to a medical incident in which you are incapacitated, incoherent, or otherwise you're not corresponding with the healthcare professionals. And we'll show you where that's going to be sitting at here. So I'm going to go ahead and hit edit at the top. And now all these things turn blue. All right. Now again, feel free to, if you want to put this information in or if you want to go back later and do it, I want to just put some basic things in here to show you what it's going to look like for the end result. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put my name in here. You can put in here if there's any medications that affect heart rate. I do take a calcium channel blocker, so if I wanted to click on that, I could. Beta blockers, those kind of things. That's where I'm going to stay right now. I'm going to set that stuff up. My blood type I have in there just in case I need a transfusion and I can't talk about that. All right, so I have all that stuff set. I'm going to go back to my health. Okay, I'm going to go to medical ID. And I'm going to hit create medical ID. And it's going to bring a lot of that information over that I already put in. All right, there's some details here you didn't have before. I can put in medical notes. I can put in medical conditions, allergies and reactions, naproxen, height, weight, primary language. I can add an emergency contact. I'm going to search for Lynette. Put her in there. Now it's going to ask me what relationship she is to me. And I could put down there spouse. So all this information is in here. Now down here, emergency access. This is where the good part is. This is where the emergency responders know what they need to do. So it's saying your medical ID can be viewed when iPhone is locked by tapping the emergency button and then the medical ID. All right, so I'm going to show you what that looks like. You can so you want to turn, if that's not green, you want to make that green and turn that on. And I'm going to click at the top there where it says next. I'm going to say next. And then there's my screen with all my information in it. And I'm going to hit done. Okay, and I'm going to just lock my phone. And then what will happen is if emergency responders show up and they need access to your phone, they are going to hold the home button on this side, the bottom, and the side. So the two-sided ones at the same time. So at this part here, I can slide this for medical ID. They do not use your passcode. It's just holding these two buttons, the bottom button and the home button at the same time, and now they have access to your information in case they need to respond to you.
Can they get into other parts of your
Nope,
phone?
that's the only place they can get.
But other people could do just what you did as well.
Right, they could.
So
Yes.
you just need to be aware of what you put in there,
Right.
because it's not like anybody can do that.
Absolutely. Any questions on that?
I just found a thing that says open health checklist.
Okay, sure. So let's go do that real quick. So that is going to be under your actual health app. All right, so welcome to the health app. This app brings your health information together in one place, see important changes, get insights from your data, and so forth. All right, so we're going to click the continue. All right, here's the little disclaimer about your health data is private and secure, and then you can protect your health data. It is encrypted when the phone is locked. The data cannot be read by anyone, including Apple, without your permission, and is never sold to a third party. You're always in control of the app and the people you share your health data with, and you can turn off sharing at any time. So in your health data, again, you can hit the continue button on this if you're at that point. If not, we'll just follow along. And then it's going to show up all the data that previously was entered. There's going to be a little bit more here as well, so I can hit next through this. I can turn on notifications for different trends. All right, so this could be things that I could have external devices. I could have, it could be my steps that I'm doing. It could be, certain exercises if my watch is keeping track of. It could be my heart rate. It could be blood pressure, all these kind of things. One of my coworkers recently got one of those patches, connects to the app for glucose. So he's got a new thing he's playing with, and it's like, he eats a cookie and he looks at the app and it's like, doing this thing, But that's what trends are. It's over time, what is your body, what is the metrics that your body, with all these different wearables that we have, are feeding into the system. So I can turn that on or I can turn it off. For the sake of the demo, I'm just going to keep this turned on and click continue. And it's again ask me if I want to send notifications. So this is good to do in a sense where I have heard positive results from people who have been wearing watches, the iWatch, and it's detected a heart attack before they had one. And whatever reason, they got a notification. It said that there were elevated heart rate, arrhythmia, seek medical attention. They called 911. They got there, and it was an event. It was a real event. So, depends on how you feel about it.
You have the watch if you're going to do that. If you
right.
don't have the watch, then it's not relevant.
Right. For me, I used to, I struggle with tachycardia where, my heart rate would be like, bopping along at 80, and then boom, it'd go up to 220. I'd want to know, I would know that. I wouldn't need an alarm going off. I would know that. It was not fun. So anyway, I'm going to hit the allow button on that. And then here's the things that's going to start, it can track. If you scroll down, it's got your steps in there, you know, your calorie intake if you're using an app that does that. It's saying, oh, you're walking more than you do in a typical day. Really? Am I? Okay, thanks. So trends, right? There's a little chart. It keeps all that stuff. I can show highlights. It can tell me to set up, I can set up medications on this. This is a great thing that we have done for my father-in-law, who is in his 80s. And if someone's not there, he struggles with dementia. There's an alarm that goes off that he's familiar with that will tell him when to take certain medications. And the correct medications, because sometimes you gotta make sure you're not taking something you're not supposed to be taking. So you can add a schedule, you can check for interactions, you can track what you take, all that. And you can share it with your provider. So let's say you're taking a certain medication, and for whatever reason, whatever wearable you're doing, you take this and your heart rate starts to either slow down or whatever. You can track that and say, hey, Dr. So-and-so, when I take this, here's what I'm experiencing, right? And that just helps them with diagnosis and treatment and those kind of things. Again, here's where you can connect to your provider to see your health records, get updates. Again, that healthcare provider has to be able to communicate and connect in that manner. So if they don't have that ability, then it's probably not going to work. And my favorite, sleep schedule. You can have devices that will help you get better sleep, understand your sleep patterns. Right. And it just kind of keeps going on. I mean, they cover everything from hearing to understanding walking steadiness, atrial fibrillation, and then scroll down. There's apps about all that. You know, different things you can do to get figure all that stuff out. Again, we're going to do this without setting off everybody's phones, but the practical and creative part of this is like things that would normally be cumbersome to do can be done very quickly by asking Siri to do this. And the first one I'm going to talk about is using the speakerphone, making a phone call. This specific phone doesn't have an actual line on it, but if you want to just do this and call somebody, you can. I mean, I'll let that up to you. But first of all, what we're going to need to do is go into our settings. And we're going to make sure that Siri is ready to go for what we need to have done. So I'm going to scroll down to Siri and search right there. Okay. Oh, not ready for you yet. Not ready.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
No, thank you.
Okay.
You want to call it Sally instead? Would that make simpler?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. So listen for it's going to be pre-programmed for either one or the other. So, hey, or just name by itself.
So that should be turned on instead of off?
Yes. So I have it turned on to listen for both. So the normal word and then the hey, her. So, but I want to show you a way to do it without yelling the name, okay? So mine's turned on, but I'm not going to do it like that. The other thing I want to make sure is you have turned on, press side button for Siri. That's the silent way of summoning her or him. So make sure that press side button for, and then allow when locked. So if the phone's locked,
It just says press home.
Press home.
Is that the same thing?
yes, correct.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah, I forgot you have the home button. Correct. Now this one I like. It's called announce calls. So if I'm in the other room and my phone, is within earshot, and I don't hear the tone, you can turn on announce calls, and you can say to always announce calls, and she will say you have a phone call from Lynette. She will say if that person is in your address book, it will say the name of that person. So you have a phone call from Wayside Veterinary. And now I'm set to go. I'm just gonna hold the side button. So for the, I think you can hold the button at the bottom.
Right, right.
And then if you hold that for a few seconds, it comes up.
Mm-hmm.
This is as loud as it gets.
Call Lynette.
I don't see a Lynette in your contacts. Who do you want to call?
Yeah, I knew this was gonna this is gonna be a challenging one. So you can call, or you can call with speakerphone or those kind of things. So let's
You have
do.
multiple phone numbers for the person, you have to tell it
Right.
which phone number to call.
Yes, because she will say, do you want to call work or home or
mobile or what.
yes, right. Creating calendar appointments. I love this one. I've used this because, let's do it the hard way. All right, I'm gonna go into my calendar. I'm gonna go to the 3rd. I'm gonna hit the plus sign, and I'm gonna say, oops. And I'm gonna say Wayside.
Wait a minute. Oh, I'm still in Siri.
Okay, and I'm gonna hit done, and I'm gonna make that for, just give an example how we typically do it. All right, and I'm gonna say add that. So that took a little bit of time to navigate all that, all right? Or I could go hold the side button, make an appointment for November 5th for Wayside Vet, 3 o'clock.
Wayside Vet is scheduled for 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. on Sunday. It's on your home calendar.
I can open up different applications. Siri, open my pictures. All right. And I can scroll through some of these pictures and I can say, I don't know.
Can Siri find a picture?
You can tag photos with different topics
Yeah,
like
let's say if it's-
dog, tree, cat, car, those kind of things. Siri, find pictures of a computer on my phone.
Here are some images of computer on my phone from the web. Have a look.
They are.
Yeah, well, that's not on my phone per se, but it went out to the web and found them. But if I wanted to say, I'm just going to take one of those. Siri, send this picture to Lynette.
Send this photo.
Yes,
It's sent.
right? So otherwise, what I would do is I would find the one that I want, send a message, do all that. And obviously, I think we've done pretty much everyone's done a quick text message. Hey Siri, text Rosie.
What do you want to say to Rosie?
Hope you're feeling better. And then I could send this or just cancel it.
Okay, canceled.
So, bunch of different things, sending photos, anything you can think of. What are some things you use it for? Directions was one.
How to spell words.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Or definition.
Or definitions,
Yes,
right,
yeah.
Yeah.
right. Siri, what's the definition of practical?
Practical means of or concerned with the actual doing or use of something rather than with theory and ideas. Do you want to hear the next one?
No. All right. What's some other ideas? What else have you used? Siri for? How about turning on the flashlight?
Oh, that's a great idea.
Ah.
I have done that.
But turn it off. right?
So I had an incident where I dropped it in the middle of the night
Off
down
flashlight.
under the bed, and I just this is me yelling, Siri, turn on the flashlight under the bed, and it turned on. I'm like, there you are. But anyway, let's talk about Control Center. I really like the Control Center. This is going to be where when you swipe down all those special features that come up that are right there at your fingertips.
No, this is controls.
Okay? By default, it normally just has like, you know, your brightness, your volume, your different buttons for Bluetooth and wireless and these things. They're all there by default, okay? But if you want to add some more things like, you know, the lamp, lights and all that kind of thing, you could do so. All right, so let's go to find out where do we go for these settings. All right, on your on the PowerPoint and on your papers, I have that. So if we're going to go to the control panel in settings, control center it's called. It's this one right here, right beneath general. Again, I don't know if you have it on your version. You should. This should be standard no matter where you are.
General?
Control center has been just below general. It should say control center. All right, and you can see the ones that are already included. Now again, if it has a little red dot next to it, I can delete that. So if I didn't want the calculator, I could remove the calculator like that. If I wanted to prioritize them and put one above the other, because if you notice right here, I've got things where it's like flashlight, screen recorder, different things. If I said I wanted the timer up here, now how I'm doing that is I'm just kind of holding my finger on those three lines, and you might feel it, you might not. It's a haptic. You feel this little pop going on in there, and as you're scrolling up, you can kind of hear it. I could go down here and I could say, well, I want to be able to control my dark mode, or
Text size.
text size. Yeah, I want to be able to use some accessibility features right there. Let's see, hearing, home, alarm. So now I've got all these in here. When I bring this up, now I've got dark mode. Okay, so some text size we have here. We can turn those up or down, like right on our spot. So that's a great feature to use it. So if I'm like, I really need whatever today, my eyes just haven't been well or whatever, I can turn on that and turn off the screen size. Alarm, I can put that up there too, and also that's another thing you can use Siri for as well, is setting alarms. That is your display lock. So
The lock with the circle around it?
yes, this one right here. So that will prevent it from, if I have that unlocked and I turn sideways, which it's not going to do it now.
Oh, it's locking the screen.
Yeah, it's gonna lock the screen. So if I have something up like, Gmail, and I turn it, it's gonna do different things. If I have Facebook, I don't know if Facebook does it or not. No.
The photos will change, or
Yeah.
text messages.
Oh,
pictures
there we
will
go.
turn.
Yeah. So if I want that to lock, I hit that button right there, and then now when I go back,
It's right there.
yeah, it's not gonna do that.
The screen mirroring,
Mm-hmm.
is that the two squares on top of
That's
it?
what I'm doing right now.
Okay.
That's this.
It's got a whole bunch of things listed, classrooms and.
Right. So you could actually mirror your, if stuff's coming up, like especially like I was trying to do last week, you could mirror your phone. And you know what's cool about that though, is if you have a smart TV, and you want to cast, they call it mirroring, or some places call it casting. And I wanted to watch a show and I wanted to share it on my smart TV. If my smart TV was set up to accept screen mirroring, I could cast that show to my TV and put it on the big screen.
Right.
Right, yeah, so if you're going to watch the sermon on, a church service online or something like that, you're going to want to watch it in landscape mode for the most part. You can watch it in portrait. It's going to cast a portrait on your screen, but it's going to look kind of clunky, because when those kind of shows are broadcast, they're broadcast in what's called a 16:9, which is the widescreen version. So, yeah, and that's what we do at home, and I always make sure I'm plugged in as well. So we have a little docking station by the TV, and then if we wanna, screen something and put it right there and put it up on the TV, we can watch it. So for next week, we're gonna do text messaging, and we're gonna do organizing the icons and things. All right, well, thank you all for this. Appreciate you all joining online and in person, and we will see you next week. Watch for the videos I will have edited, and send me questions if you have them.